seemed like you were a little bit banged up at the end of the game. Came on the injury report with the hip. How you feeling? How did it happen? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's football. It ain't meant to feel good. So simple as that.
Do you think getting used to the game speed and obviously coming back from injury that maybe sometimes you have to overcompensate in certain areas of your blocking and that can cause issues?
Yeah, you can say that you shouldn't be doing that if, I may have made that mistake, but it's what practice is for, to refine your craft and get it down in practice so you don't do it in the game.
Landon, you more comfortable on the left or right side, or doesn't it matter to you?
I'm pretty comfortable playing football, just wherever.
What was the difference for you having the whole week to prep versus the week before coming in sort of cold?
Every chance you get to practice is always beneficial. I love practice. I don't think there's any negatives to it, so it's always great to be able to get as many practices, as many reps as you can.
Do you expect to play Sunday?
I expect to be traveling and whatever coach wants me to do.
And you weren't real happy with your first game when you had to come in for Brandon Brooks. Were you a little more happier the way you played in Dallas?
No, still didn't play up to the standard. That's you can rewind what I said last week. We have a standard here. I'm not going to sit here and give you excuses why I did certain things. Go to practice, look at a film, ask my coaches what I need to do, ask my teammates what they think can help, then just figure it out and keep getting better each day. That's what it's about.
Were the same things that showed up in the first game what showed up in this game for you, do you think?
In what ways?
The mistakes.
Depend. It's not something I'm going to get into detail about, but I did make corrections on a lot of things I felt that I needed to work on, the coaches thought I needed to work on.
How are you feeling now physically, Landon?
Good.
Landon, we just got to meet you, and obviously we're developing a relationship. Are you typically a harsh critic on your own play, or do you come out of certain games saying, I played well, there's not much I could have improved in?
There's obviously, I like to look at it in a way of, you're never going to play a perfect game. There's always things you can work on, so there's no reason to, sit around and pat yourself on the back if there's still things that you can improve on. I don't really find, a reason why you should do that. Other people may be different. For me, I find it best whenever I'm hard on myself, I critique myself, I ask for feedback from coaches, and I try to get things corrected.
What's the communication been like? Obviously the offensive line has to communicate quite a bit, protection calls and whatnot. How's that coming along? Of it to what everybody else is doing.
Oh, I understand. It's a simple philosophy. As long as we're all on the same page, good things will happen.
We've heard a lot about accountability and how this team holds players accountable. Has that meshed with the way you prefer to be coached and the way that it helps you to be coached?
Absolutely. Like I said, I want to be told what I'm doing wrong and what I can do to fix it. There's no reason to say how great something is if there's still things wrong with it.
Have you talked to Isaac since his injury, and if so, what's his mental state like, and how's he dealing with it?
I have talked to Isaac. He's doing well. Isaac's a phenomenal player. We're really going to miss him. He's not, other than being a great player, he's a great human, great person. He's helped me out so much. He's a key part of our offensive line, and I'm hoping that he'll get back in the building sooner rather than later, because just having his presence around, it's great.
We've heard him. Last week you mentioned the speed of the game was the biggest adjustment you had to make. How did you feel like you adjusted on Monday night, and how long do you think it'll take to adjust to that?
I wish I could tell you a time period. It's not like it's an exam coming up in 2 weeks. The more practice, the more reps, the more games you play, the more comfortable you get with it.
Is there anything from these first two games that surprised you?
In what way?
Just about the game speed, the way the NFL works, anything like that?
It's a fast game, and they're grown men.
Did you expect? Is it what you expected, though?
I didn't know what to expect. I never played an NFL game, so what it was.
How do you think Devontae has handled being in the spotlight? There's a lot of pressure with being a first-round pick in this city, especially. Obviously, you're new to this town, but I'm sure you've heard about it. How do you feel like he handles that?
I think pressure's great. It means you have expectations. It means people want things from you. They expect certain things to happen, and I think that's great because you keep wanting to get better. Not only for the city but for the team, and what we can accomplish. So I think he handles it great. He evaluates what he does good and bad each week. He's trying to fix it. He's trying to improve and get better every single day.
How do you approach that? I mean, you've played in some high-profile college football programs where I'm sure you've felt it before. How have you approached handling pressure throughout your career, and how do you feel like you've done so far here in Philadelphia?
I mean, just it comes with practice and training and being prepared. I mean, whenever you're prepared, there's no reason to feel nervous or feel pressure.
Landon, apologize if you were asked this, but I guess what type of advice or pointers has Lane given you since you've been inserted last week?
I mean, Lane's been great. He gives me little tidbits every now and then. I'm sure y'all know how his character is, but really it's just play football. Be yourself, play football.